When it's real and genuine, you don't have to be told. You just see it. Sharps quotes. The way I felt each time I was with this guy was very difficult to describe, despite me trying to create a bit of distance between us. His level of care for me and my well-being was just out of this world. In fact, this other day, I came to work without any lunch money or even a meal for myself. He made sure that I had breakfast and lunch at his own expense. The food he bought was incredibly delicious, by the way. When I told Brenda about him, his name was Jeffrey. She just smiled and said the most unexpected thing. There was no denying that I was in love with Jeffrey, but the problem was that there wasn't much I could do about it. He would check up on me every day before work started. He would get to work and make sure that I was okay before we started working. He would always make sure that I had something to eat. In fact, I ended up not having to carry any food or lunch money to work because he had that covered. He would call and we would talk for a very long time. If ever he just felt like I was not okay, he would call just to make sure that I was okay. This guy was just amazing, I won't lie. This other day, he invited me to his house. I said, Jeffrey, the way you talk about cooking and all these things sometimes makes me wonder how good you are in the kitchen. And in his response, well, then maybe you should come over to my place and find out. When I started this conversation, it was meant to be a joke. I never thought it would result in me being invited to his place. Jeffrey stayed alone in Nashville. I wasn't sure what to say when he said I should come over. I just told him I would think about it. That's alright, he said. Take your time. Just don't take too much time, or you will never know what you might be missing. I just laughed and said, okay, that sounds very manipulative. He said, really? My bad. I hope I'm not scaring you. Okay, how about this? I'll cook something for you and bring it tomorrow for you to taste. Then we proceed from there. How's that? I said, okay, that sounds good. What's going to be on the menu? And said, that's going to be a surprise. I was so excited when I got home. I went to my human diary, Brenda. And girls being girls, we started talking about the whole thing and just wondering what Jeffrey was going to make for me. I honestly couldn't wait to get to work the following day. And Brenda said, so Mr. Nike's guy can also cook. Wow, this should be good. And I responded, I hope his cooking won't be better than mine, because that would just be terrible. And she said, girl, with the way he is confident, you better start saying your prayers. And I said, I just wonder what he's going to make for me. Okay, listen, Brenda said, whatever he makes, if it has meat, please bring some for me. I also want to get a taste of the promised goodness. And I said, wait, so you only want to taste it if there is meat? Very funny. I got up earlier than usual that day. It was so weird that Brenda got up and just started to laugh at me. I got myself ready and I left for work an hour early. Why I did this, I have no idea. All I know is that I was really excited to get to work and see what Jeffrey had prepared for me. Funny enough, we spoke for hours the previous night and not once did he give me a clue of what he was making for me. I got to work and the building was still locked. I waited outside for the security guard to come and open for me. He arrived about 30 minutes later and I went in. I was now sitting by my desk when I saw Jeffrey walking in with a beautiful cooler bag. I was so eager to open it. He walked up to me and greeted me as always. I responded with all the excitement in the world. You look amazing today, he said. And I just responded, thank you. You look pretty good yourself. What's in the bag? I mean, that doesn't look like a laptop bag. And he said, so you still haven't given up on that? Nakai, I told you it was going to be a surprise, so please, just be a bit more patient. Work break was just a few hours away. And I said, do you have any idea how hard this is for me? I'm about to explode, and you say a few hours like it's easy. Come on, Jeff, please just tell me. Or at least give me a hint. At least that way my mind will be at ease. And he said, sorry, you're gonna have to wait. That was the longest 2 hours and 30 minutes of my life, and finally break came, and I quickly rushed to where he was because we worked on different stations. I started bugging him to let me see what he had made. He was stubborn at first, but he finally gave in. He asked me to follow him to the kitchen, and I did. What I saw when he opened the bag made me question everything I knew about cooking. He took out a lunch tin and set it on the table. He took out another lunch tin, bigger than the first one, and then a third one. He brought out a container with something that looked like juice. He took some plates and started dishing up the food, and the appearance was just mind-blowing. The funny part, he dished up from the 2 big lunch tins and left the smaller one untouched. The presentation was just world class. He poured the juice in a glass and said, "Let's eat." I asked him about the smaller lunch tin, and he told me to be patient and enjoy the food that was ready before me. The food was so incredible, it made me question how he was able to make all of that overnight. Also, it made me question my cooking skills. I couldn't even finish the food that was in my plate. He finished his plate, and his comment was just insane. He said, "Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it would be." And I was like, "This is amazing, Jeff. Where did you buy this?" And he just laughed. He said, "I bought it from my kitchen." As promised, I saved some for Brenda since the food had a lot of delicious meat in it. He finally opened the smaller lunch tin, and I froze. For dessert, he had baked a beautiful chocolate cake, which was very delicious. I have to say, Jeffrey proved to me that day that the kitchen is not just for women, but for all. At this point, I was getting closer and closer to just telling him how I felt about him. I felt like it was taking too long. Oh, by the way, the juice was not the kind we buy in the store. He actually made the mixture himself, and it was just perfect. I felt like asking him to marry me. I got home and gave Brenda her share. She just lost it. At first, she couldn't believe that it was Jeffrey who cooked it. She loved the food so much I couldn't blame her. Later that night, Jeffrey called and said something I did not see coming. I just started blushing.